I got more bad news for you.
Yeah, more bad news for who?
More RP?
For you. Well,
For me?
For Knicks fans. I consider myself one as well.
It's making me happy.
Tibbs is out here.
Wait.
Hold up.
Not yet. Nope. You being Centel.
Loop it.
Listen, what are you telling me right now about the Knicks?
Tibbs is out, man. He's fired.
You're being Centel.
I'm not being sent
Is
out.
that really true? That can't be true.
No, this is real, dog.
This is from the ESPN app.
CBS Sports.
Shams
Everywhere.
reported it.
They're all reporting.
He going. Like I told you he's gonna be going, man. Trash.
I think that's a bad decision.
You saying that as a Sixer fan, you trying to be funny.
No, I'm not even being funny. I told you. I think the players for Mike Malone. I'm telling you.
Is it New Yorker, Astoria? Let's go.
Yeah, I think that's
Well,
the
I don't-
player.
And Tom Thibodeau is absolutely crazy to me. Right?
It is. It is.
I've seen worse.
There's something that we don't know then.
I don't think so.
No, I think it's just something that bad organizations do. As a Dolphins fan and Knicks fan, I can speak to.
Nobody had the Knicks going to the conference final.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But you know how that goes. Once
Wait,
you go,
and not only that, nobody had beaten Indiana more than once.
The whole season.
And they played pretty good, except for the last
especially
game.
in the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nobody beat Indiana more than one time.
Dog.
The Bucks had one. The Cavs had one.
I don't think the Cavs beat them.
No, the Cavs won.
Cavs beat
they
them?
won game 3.
Oh, I was talking about during the. Oh, yeah, gotcha.
I'm talking about the playoffs.
Gotcha.
This is crazy
That's
to
nuts.
me. That's Jalen Brunson's godfather, damn near.
And dog, even when you start talking about Indiana beating them, those games weren't blowout games. The Knicks were in
One was, but, yeah.
No, one of them. The Knicks were in most of those games that they lost.
Yeah, they were.
there's a couple things I've heard. 2 from a beat writer and 1 just from the scuttlebutt, but 2 that I can rely on, and that is that there was some concern about Tibbs' long-term wearing out the locker room, which is what they always say when they get rid of coaches, right? That he's losing the locker room.
I think there's credence to that. It's just too early.
I think he's an old school coach, and these new school players don't necessarily adhere to what
That's
goes
another
on.
one that we hear. But
That's another one that's popular
he's
now.
a defense first coach.
But there's something very specific.
He's real
yes.
hard nosed, bro. He's
And it's also the
hard-nosed.
rotations. People feel like he's too hard on the stars, too many minutes on the stars, and he had the same problem in Chicago. Had the same problem. I mean, everywhere he goes, that's something that trails him. He plays guys 42 minutes, should play 35, and then when you get in the playoff time, 1, they're worn out, and 2, it makes the rotations very stubborn.
Everything that y'all are saying is absolutely true. I just have a hard time treating somebody like that, but it's business, I guess.
The headline from CBS Sports says Tom Thibodeau resurrected the Knicks, but firing him might be the only way to get to the next level.
I
disagree with that.
It might be a Raptor situation.
I
Remember,
disagree
Dwayne
with
Casey goes, Nick Nurse comes next year, they win the
I
championship.
didn't agree with that. Dwayne Casey was coach of the year that year.
was coach of the
David
year.
Blatt, you end up with Tyronn Lue, Cavs win the championship. I'm
Mark
just saying,
Jackson, Steve Kerr. I get
it happens.
I think that again, as a Dolphins fan, I see this saying they're trying to fire Mike McDaniel. The fans in the press are trying to fire Mike McDaniel. I think it's stupid. Like, this guys are delivering winning seasons for the first time in 20 years.
Y'all ain't been
just because
shit
they didn't
for
do
decades.
exactly
Yes.
what you
I don't
wanted.
even feel like the Knicks should have the cachet to move
don't
like
think
that
so.
right now.
Yeah.
But
think
now's
so.
the time. You got who they perceive to be a better coach on the market, and I do believe he's going to be the next coach. And you got to do it now. If you wait till next year,
I would love Mike Malone.
yeah.
I just don't like firing Tom Thibodeau, who came here.
Why would you love Mike Malone?
Oh, I like Mike Malone as a coach.
New Yorker.
Let me ask you a
I
question.
like Mike Malone as a
I
coach.
like that he's
If
a New
you
Yorker.
knew
I will say.
that if Mike Malone were the coach, you'd still be playing basketball right now. Would you feel differently about firing Thibodeau?
Say it again.
If you knew that if they had Mike Malone instead of Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks would still be playing basketball right now, would you feel differently about firing him? Would you be able to get over it more?
Yes.
Huh?
I think that's not. I don't think that. I don't think you guys win this series no matter who's coaching this. But in general, I think there's a people in the Knicks brass who believe.
Well, see that part.
See, I think
The Knicks should.
But that's what they've said.
But fuck what they
could've won this
say.
series.
The Knicks should have. I'm just trying to picture this from the Knicks brass.
Yeah.
The Knicks should have won game 1. Like I said last part.
Facts.
You lose game 2. Then you'll go back. You'll win game 3. You'll lose game 4. You go back home, you win game 5, you lose game 6. The thinking is you come back home and win it in 7.
Right.
The cards didn't fall that way. I'm not so mad because we beat Boston like that. Boston laid an egg.
Exactly,
They laid an egg
my
at
point.
home for 2 games. It's the playoffs, the lights are bright.
Yes.
Shit happens, yo.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
to fire a coach that yeah, I'm against that.
Fam.
I'm
like,
against
I'm
this.
I'm gonna say this,
I'm
right?
not.
And I said Boston's coach, I would have fired quicker than I would have fired Tom Thibodeau.
Mike
No.
Yes.
Mike Malone can make Cat play defense?
No, hold on. Let me finish.
No.
Let me finish.
Go
Let me
ahead.
finish.
Go ahead.
The things that Boston
Or Jalen.
suffered were coachable things. The shit that the Knicks suffered, some of those were player mistakes down the stretch that Tom Thibodeau had nothing to do with.
Right.
No,
Yo,
see,
the Boston shit, fam. Y'all up 20. Y'all up 20, game 1. Your team starts jacking threes. Okay, cool. You lose. Game 2 comes.
but that's on
Y'all-
coaching.
But-
That is on coaching.
absolutely on coaching.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Even the fact that when they push it in
I'ma
the middle of
forg-
their comeback, y'all don't call a
The
timeout.
coach,
nigga,
the
I'ma
coach-
forgive
the coach
you.
is supposed to say, hey, if y'all going to let them score, then let them score twos.
Yeah. No. Listen. Cool. Let's say the coach, we gonna forgive you for that one. The very next game, y'all up 20 in the third again. Guess what you do? Mental breakdown, and you let your team start shooting nothing but threes again. They go on a 23-2 run. You don't even fucking call a timeout, bro. You just saw this in game 1. You gonna let deja vu happen in game 2? That's bad coaching and bad point
I
guard
agree
play,
with all
in
that.
my
Horrible
opinion.
play. I agree.
So the shit that Tom Thibodeau and them just experienced, that shit wasn't all about coaching. Some of that shit was fatigue. That's where the coaching part could come in at. But a lot of that shit was bad shot selection by the team. Jason
Bad decision
fucking
making.
Brunson is a vacuum. Some of them niggas had better matchups that he wasn't getting them the ball. Like, yo, Cat
It's a
wasn't.
coach-
But that's the other coaching part. No, but that's the other thing I was hearing that I didn't get to is that there are a lot of people who feel like Brunson plays that way because his dad's on the coaching staff and his dad has kind of been assigned Jalen Brunson duty and that he needs to be separated from his father, and you can't. And that's why another reason why they want to get rid of that coaching staff. That's just what I've heard. There's
The coach has to go before we get rid of our $50 million player, which to me is Cat. So I guess I do understand it from
Why
that
do- I
thinking.
don't-
One,
Something's got to give.
2, this move just tells you that they felt that they felt about Indiana like us fans felt. About
Yeah, like
Indiana.
y'all couldn't beat. They
There
can't beat
is
y'all.
no excuse for y'all to lose to the Indiana Pacers.
And I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some,
You're right.
No, but there's some credence to that. You should not. There's a large group of people that felt like you could see him getting out coached by Carlisle.
Carlisle's a really good coach.
He's also
Carlisle's
one of
a
the better
top
coaches
5
ever.
coach.
That has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the fact that Mikal Bridges told you halfway through the season, and he's our Iron Man. He is our Cal Ripken Jr., the league. Basketball. I'm not talking about the Knicks.
He hasn't missed a game since middle school.
Yeah, he said, hey, don't you think we playing a lot of minutes? That was your sign to incorporate some of these niggas that you may have needed later, which is a Shamet, which is a Delon Wright. Even campaign, like, see how these people operate in different lineups. He didn't do that, and now in real time, you're trying to figure it out in playoffs. So I see why they mad. I just didn't think it was such a fireable offense from where he took us from.
I don't.
He took us from nothing, yo. You want me to read the list of the point guards of the Knicks for the last 30 years?
We've read them.
Yeah.
We've read them.
But the problem is Thibodeau doesn't change. He does it everywhere, and there are people who just feel like it's not going to get better. And you don't have a lot of cap room to maneuver, so you're not going to get. You likely won't get one additional player that's going to make you so much better. And something's got to give. And if the players don't believe in you, you may retreat. I'm just saying I understand why they would do it, especially when Mike Malone is on the
I'm about to
table.
say, if
The
you got a
only
better coach
reason
out
I
there, get
kind
it.
of like the move, I'd hate this move, but I like it because it lets you know that the organization is somewhat serious about the window that they have
Yes.
to win.
About winning.
Right.
But that's
true.
nasty.
It
I don't
better
feel
be.
good
It better
about
be
that.
Malone.
I think that's
If it's not Mike Malone, then
You drop
Then
the
they're
ball.
fucked.
Then-
If Doc
then
Rivers
it was-
comes in,
That's what I'm hoping for.
you just fucked me up with this shit.
I would love that.
Oh,
I think that's
it's a great day, isn't it?
I think it's horrible.
Neutral button.